Whether you're a seasoned real estate veteran looking to make a change and level up your real estate business, or you're brand new to the game looking for your first brokerage to affiliate with, I'm going to tell you there's one thing that's more important than which brokerage you decide to go with next. And before I get into that, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler Roicki. I help people personally develop and grow in real estate in life. And to allude to that, I built and run a real estate sales organization called The Herd. We span over 200 agents in over 30 states. Last year, The Herd sold 933 houses, $275 million in real estate, and we're just getting started. I say that because a vast majority of my agents are 4 years or less in the business. And so couldn't be more excited for what's to come. If you want to learn more about that, reach out to me anytime. Happy to have a conversation, but let's get to the main topic, which is what's more important than which brokerage you decide to go with next. And it's the who. Who is helping you specifically? Because you are going to be more like the people that you're around on a daily basis. If you want to change your business, if you want to change your life, if you want to change your world, the most powerful thing you could do to get there is to surround yourself with the right people in the right environment on a daily basis. Because guess what? None of us chose what environment we were born into. You didn't choose whether you were born in California or Florida or some other place completely across the map. None of us made that choice. None of us chose the neighborhood or the house we grew up in or the parents we were born to. But there are certain aspects that over the course of our life, we have a choice. You know, we didn't choose that childhood, but we do choose when we become an adult, and when we put the pieces into play in our life to get into business like real estate, we get to decide whether we want to stay in that place or not. And so if you're not intentionally surrounding yourself with people that are more in alignment with you and your growth on a daily basis, that's a choice you're making or failing to make. But in either case, it's something you have control over that you're either taking control of or not. And like I said, most people I see making a brokerage decision, this isn't even a factor for most of them. I mean, at best, I see people looking for the right culture within a company. And that's a thing that you're on the right, along the right lines. If that's what you're looking for, is a great culture. I think that's important. But, who practically speaking are you surrounded with? You yourself. Who are you in alignment with? Is there anyone that you're in alignment with? Because most of us as real estate agents, we're on our own. Even if we're part of a good company, even if that company has a good culture, we're on our own as our own business owner, left to our own devices to figure it out. And it doesn't have to be like that. So question is, right, and going back to the saying, like, hey, we've all heard it, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So who are those 5 people in real estate that you're in proximity with week in, week out, day in, day out, that you're able to connect with, have conversations, collaborate, share ideas? Are they people that are further along the path that you want to be in? Are they people that are either have reached your goal, are exceeding your goal, or very strongly on the path to get there? Or are they 5 other people who are equally where you're at in the business today? Because what happens for most people is, let's say you're newly licensed, like I was 9.5 years ago. You get your license and you're thinking, I want to go be a part of that big office that has a ton of top producing agents that's selling all the real estate, because I want to be around those top producers. That was my mindset too. And so I joined the biggest office, 800 agents, doing well over $2 billion in production out of that one office, thinking that I'm going to learn from all the top producers. And while some of them did come in and host trainings over that first month, afterwards, I kept coming back, hoping to learn. But guess who I ended up being in proximity with? All the other newbies. And they, just like me, were trying to figure it out. Why were they in the office? Because they thought, probably like I did, that that's where you would want to be if you would want to learn from the top producers. But come to find out, the top producers aren't in the office. The ones that were, most oftentimes had their door closed. The ones that weren't, most of them weren't. Why? Because guess what a top producer does? They're out in the field. They're out in front of clients and prospective clients. They're not in the office hanging out with the newbies. It's not a productive use of time. And even if they did it, it's not going to put food on their family's plate. Because if you were spending your days like that, you're training your competition. And most top producers aren't interested in doing that unless you're paying them a lot of money for their help. And so come to find out, I didn't know that when I got in the business. No one taught me that. But even if you're in the biggest, baddest office in town, do you really have the opportunity to be around those 5 people? Or are you on your own, left to figure it out? And are the people you're around others just like you? Because for most of us, if we're not intentional about it, we're going to be around 5 other people likely that are average. What does the National Association of Realtors say about the average real estate agent? I mean, you could look up the stats. I don't know about you, but I didn't get in this business to be average. If you're like me and you got into real estate to build a phenomenal income, to set the foundation to build wealth and generational wealth for you and your family, and to have more freedom of your own time, you've got to be more intentional than just leaving it to who happens to be in close proximity to you because you live, in a similar spot and are working out of the same office. You want to be like literally seeking out the situation. Okay, where can I find those 5 people that I'd be more in alignment with, that are way further down the path? Because that takes the right structure, that takes the right brokerage model. And what I've found in the past 9.5 years is that there's 3 kinds of brokerages out there. There's the independent, there's the franchise, and then there's the platform. And the independent, that might be a broker that just got their own license. They might just be doing deals themselves. They might have brought on an agent. That agent might be you, or they might have built out something bigger than that. And the bigger of a thing they built, the more it starts looking like a franchise. Because what's a franchise? It's someone who bought into that local market center. There's a bigger company. They have their brand and system and their way of going about things. And they had someone in that local market that bought into that, and they got to build up that agent base to an extent for it to actually work. So usually the franchises are going to tend to have a solid amount of agents, and they can be actually really big. They can be well into the hundreds of agents for a bigger franchise. And then you've got the cloud-based platforms, which, that's a company it's cloud-based, but it operates as a single office virtually. And a lot of people mistake the, virtual office meaning you don't have one. I mean, reality is you do, at least if it's set up correctly with the right company like the one I'm a part of. But you have an office, and the difference is it's like Blockbuster versus Netflix. Because Blockbuster, think about it, you had a store in a physical location. So if that was the store near you that catered to you in your market, you're dealing with whoever's in that store, whoever works there. You're dealing with the movies they have on the shelf in that specific location. With the platform, it's like Netflix, because you're not dealing with who's ever there locally. You're dealing with Netflix, the company. You're dealing with all the support behind that. You're dealing with all the producers that have videos on that platform. So with the cloud-based platform, you're dealing with all the producers on that platform. It opens up the way for you to be more around, in closer proximity and communication with more of the right people, especially if they're not in your local market. Because guess what happens if they're not? They're not competing with you for the same business and clients. And so the missing link to that, even if you joined a great platform-based model, is, are you running with the right people? And initially I didn't find it. So that's why I started building it. And I started putting the pieces into play and bringing the people together who were growth minded, who were seeking to do more and become more. And that's where I started building the herd, which, like I said at the beginning, that's a group that's well over 200 agents strong at this point. The top producers in my group are agents that have literally been licensed going on 3 years, that are closing upward of 10 million plus in sales volume a year. I'm talking anywhere between 40 and closing in on 100 units this year. People 2 to 3 years licensed. Those are my top performers. Is that your average result? No, I mean, it's not. But my point is, we've cultivated a growth-minded community, and we did it because, one, we had the right platform, but two, that's the platform I'm building that community within. And I'm not going to say I'm the only community out there of growth-minded people where you can find those 5 right people to be surrounded with more on a daily basis. I know other people and other leaders in other communities that are great, and they have an opportunity kind of like that. Ours is unique in some of the aspects and things that we have in common, and those who really resonate with what I'm doing. But again, it's something I didn't find as an agent. In fact, I've never seen anything quite like the community that I've built within the herd. But that being said, I share all that to say, hey, regardless of which brokerage you decide to go with, I don't care if you join the same brokerage I'm a part of or not. I mean, if my group's the right fit for you, I'm happy to have a conversation with it if you're growth minded, if you're looking to do and achieve more and be around more of the right people on a daily basis, because I have an opportunity exactly like that. But even if you go elsewhere, I'm telling you, first and foremost, assess, do you have the opportunity to be around more of the right people who are further down the path that you want to be on? Because to the extent you do that is going to play massively into your success more so, I would say, than simply splits. Support, training, resources, all those things are important, but what's more important is who you're in proximity with, because you'll become more like those people for better or worse. So if you have the option, put yourself around 5 people that almost make you feel unqualified to be in the room with them because you're further behind where they're actually at. People you look up to, people you want to be more like, people who you wouldn't mind trading places with as far as them in their real estate business. Because if you're intentionally around people like that, you're going to pick up the mindset, the habits, the strategies, the systems, the pieces of the process. And if you can implement those things you learn along the way, it's going to take you so much further than just a difference in split or this training, that training. No, you got to be around the right people. So intentionally put yourself in that right environment, around the right people, and ideally in a situation where those people are aligned with you and your success. So anyway, I hope that insight helped. It's something I was thinking of today as I was speaking with potential partner, someone who might be joining the organization soon. I think he's resonated with a lot of what we're doing and how we're going about it. But I hope that insight helps you no matter where you're at in your professional journey. And if there's anything I can help you with now or in the future, if you're curious to learn more about the environment and community I've built and want to assess what it might look like for you to run with us, go ahead and reach out and connect with me. I'm happy to have a conversation if it resonates with you. And if not, hey, take that insight and go out and find your community and tribe and make sure that you're, putting yourself in a good brokerage for one, something that you do have that opportunity to grow, but you'll also that you have the opportunity to surround yourself with more of the right people so that you can get closer to where you ultimately want to be by being in the real estate business. So that being said, my name is Tyler Roicki. If you're not already connected with me, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I've got a lot of stuff I'm excited about coming down the pipeline for you all. And drop me a comment. Let me know, what market area are you tuning in from? City, state, where do you represent clients and where are you building your real estate business? I'd love to see that in the comments. And until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.